Hey girl, hey, welcome back to your girl's channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some makeup mistakes that you didn't even know you were probably making, girl. I was once a beginner in makeup, and when I tell you I did not know how to do makeup, girl, I did not know how to do makeup. So I'm here to teach you and give you all the tips when it comes to this makeup, okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, hey girl, hey, welcome back to your girl's channel. Girl, if your post notification bell is not on, go turn it on. It's the only way you're gonna be able to get this tea that I'm bringing, girl. If you are a new subscriber, hey girl, hey, welcome to your girl's channel. I teach you how to do makeup the easy way, of course. So if that's something that you're interested in and that you would like, hit that subscribe button, that post notification bell, so you are notified every time I do upload new videos, girl, because you don't want to miss out. Okay, so primers, you don't need a lot. Sometimes I'll see people put a shit ton of primer on their face, and this is way too much. All you need is a little bit, and you want to lightly tap the primer in versus you swiping the primer all over the face, causing friction, and then it'll cause your makeup to kind of peel or, you know, look away, especially if you've already done your skincare for the day. You should always allow your skincare to sit at least 5 to 10 minutes before applying a primer onto the face. And once you have your primer applied to the face, let it dry down for at least 2 to 5 minutes. This way, when you go to apply any of your other products, you can eliminate the crumbling or the, you know, the messiness that may come with it. If you go in directly with a foundation after this, your primer is not going to wear well, and it's just going to crumble, it's going to separate. It's not going to work for you and your makeup. When it comes to applying foundation, please, I've seen this so many times on TikTok, please do not pour the foundation on the face. Why are we pouring foundation all over our face? Like, why? Why is it that much product that we need to put on our face? I've seen it so many times, like, it's not that serious. And your foundation will last you if you're applying less on the face, especially if you color correct or spot conceal with a concealer. Your foundation is going to last you months and months and months. You know, this stuff is expensive, so you just dousing it all over your face and pouring it, it's not ideal. So what I like to do, I like to either place a little bit of the concealer on the back of my hand, or if you have like a makeup tray, you can get it from Amazon. They're probably like $5. Use that silver makeup tray to place, you know, your foundations or any liquids on there that you just don't have control over, okay? And I like to take some of the foundation with my fingers. Now, this is the only time you'll see me applying it with my fingers, and just place a little bit, you know, where I want to even out that complexion, okay? One makeup mistake that I see a lot of people doing is that they're going like this to blend out their foundation, or they're taking their brush and they're going like this. Why are we going into circular motions like this? So when you go to do all this and you're causing friction, you're pretty much erasing away your foundation, then nothing is covered. The hyperpigmentation is still on the face. So instead, you first want to take a concealer and you want to spot conceal any dark spots on your face, like from past acne scars. If they're fading away, you definitely want to make sure that you are, you know, covering those up. I like to allow mine to sit for like 30 to 60 seconds and then blend out. After you allow for the concealer to sit for at least 30 to 60 seconds, it's time to blend out. I like to tap the concealer and lightly like flicker out to blend out the concealer. You never want to go in and just, again, swipe and roll the brush around. The tapping motions will allow for that concealer to just stick and stay on there, and you'll get an even coverage. You always want to even out your complexion before you apply your foundation. This way, when you go to apply your foundation, you're using way less product. You see that? You see how my complexion is nice and evened out? Then when you go to apply your foundation, all you need is a small amount. When you go to blend out your foundation, you'll see that, oh my gosh, my complexion is nice, smooth, and it's even. It doesn't look cakey. It looks very natural looking. This is the key to having a flawless base and having your base last you a long time, especially if you have any flaws or imperfections on the face and you don't want them to peek through your foundation. If you're not color correcting or spot concealing before your foundation, you're going to run into these problems, and it's the reason why your makeup and your base isn't flawless and it doesn't look good. And always make sure to apply your foundation around the under eye. The under eye is a very delicate area, so if you're placing a foundation, a color corrector, or a concealer underneath that eye, you're just setting your under eye up for creasing. we always want to apply that foundation around the under eye. So another makeup mistake that I see people doing wrong all the time is when it comes to color correcting. Some of y'all will be using a color corrector that is way too light for your complexion, so that when you go to blend it out, it looks gray. It looks patchy. It doesn't look right. I do want to say, if you are my complexion or darker, you should be going in and using an orange color corrector. It's going to neutralize the darkness under the eye, because the pigmentation that's under our eye is brown and is darker. So the orange is going to cancel that out. When you're working with any color correctors, less is more. You only want to color correct the darkness of the under eye, or if you have it around your face, the eyelids, wherever you're going to place this color corrector, less is more. If you're packing on a lot of color corrector underneath the eye, it's the reason why your foundation looks orange. I'm just gonna be honest. It's the reason why your under eye is looking orange, or it looks a totally different color after a few hours, is because you're placing way too much color corrector underneath the eye. So for me, I like to place just a few little dots underneath the eyes. That way when I go to blend out, it's going to cover the darkness only, rather than me taking a whole ton of, you know, color corrector and just swiping it under my eye. Let's talk about concealer, because time after time I see so many people applying your concealer directly under the eye like so, because if you're applying it directly underneath the eyes and you have fine lines, then it's going to stick underneath those fine lines. It's going to get in between those fine lines, and it's going to crease over time, especially if you're not setting it properly. So for me, I like to apply my concealer away from the under eye, and just like my color corrector, I'm going to let it sit for like 30 to 60 seconds. It's going to make it tacky. It's going to stick better. It's going to lay better underneath the eyes. And if you are using a concealer that has a more medium coverage, it's going to give your concealer a more fuller coverage versus you directly placing it underneath the eyes and going ahead right away and blending it out. When you go to blend out your concealer, I love using concealer brushes like this. I love how it has like that kitten paw effect. A little fluffy, but it's still dense, so I'm able to evenly spread out that concealer and blend it out. If you let the concealer sit, you want to look in your mirror. I like to start from the end of the concealer and literally work my way up. So wherever that ending part of that concealer, start there and work your way up. And as you can see, because you left it on for about 30 to 60 seconds, it has that tackiness, so it's literally like sticking to the under eye like glue. Best hack, it works every single time. Before you set your under eyes with setting powder, always make sure to re-blend out your concealer before setting. Because any creams or liquids that sit up underneath the under eye, it's going to fold and crease into those, you know, fine lines that we do have. If you have them, you may not have them, but if you do, just know that if you go to set it on top of it looking creased out, or it settling into those creases, then your under eye is not going to look flawless, not going to look smooth or blurry, and overall you'll have to end up redoing that under eye. You want to take your setting powder and you want to take some just like right there at the tip. You want to even it out on the back of your hand, tap out any excess. So you want to be able to control the amount you're placing underneath your eyes, because if you place too much powder underneath the eyes and you have fine lines, it's going to look dry, it's going to look crusty and dusty, okay? And we don't want that. So if you're tapping out any excess and just applying a small amount, then you could lightly, slowly start to build up that powder. I like to just press the powder literally under the eyes to set it first. I feel like, hey, I want to go in with a little bit more powder, then I'll take a little bit more and I'll get more powder, tap out any excess, and press it underneath the eye. One makeup tip that I always see is you guys using the wrong powders to place all over the face. You cannot use a lighter powder to place all over the face, especially if it has color to it. Like this Huda Beauty shade in Kunafa, I will not put this all over my face. This powder is meant for brightening, so it's way too bright and it's gonna make me look like I have the wrong foundation on my face. So instead, I have been mixing these two powders, a darker shade, which is shade Cinnamon Roll, and Kunafa together. It gives me like that neutral balance because I do have a neutral undertone. But use a powder that is closer to your skin complexion. Make sure that it's translucent if you can't find the correct color powder to place all over your face. If it's not translucent, it needs to be as close as possible to your skin complexion. And use that powder to place it all over the face. You need to set your entire face. You should be setting all of your creams and liquids on the face so that it does not move. You guys want this flawless filter base. You have to work up to get that base, girl. So I say that to say, if you have a darker skin complexion and you want to set your entire face with powders, please do not go in with a light powder, lighter than your actual skin complexion. That is not going to be flattering for your base. Your base is going to look gray. It's going to look ashy. It's gonna look dry, it's gonna look cakey. It's not gonna look flattering at all. Lastly, when it comes to you applying your blush to your face, you really don't need a shit ton of blush on your face. Let's just be real. You should never go in directly with your blush like this. I mean, you're unable to control the amount that you're placing on your face, and now you have a big shit ton of blush on your face. And for me, that's just way too much. I like a more softer, more subtle blush. So I like to use my angled blush brush like so. Tap into the actual blush, tap out any excess. Then I like to start by working upwards when it comes to the blush, right? Because if you're working up, we're giving our face a nice lift, right? I feel like if you want more of the apples of the cheek blush trend or vibe, then you'll, you know, go in directly like this to apply it like that. But again, you still want to tap out any excess on the back. You want to tap out any excess of unnecessary blush, because it's going to help with just it being even and it not being blotchy or spotty on the face. If you dab into it, tap out any excess, then you can lightly start to work the blush forward, even if you did want to apply it on the apples of the cheeks. You're still able to control the amount and also, you know, how it looks overall on the face. Now, if you find this to be way too much blush on the cheeks or on the face, it can definitely be softened up by using a translucent finishing powder. This finishing powder is going to finish off the makeup look and give you a nice, smooth airbrush finish. See the difference? This side versus this side. This side is much more softer. It's more blurring. It's more airbrushed versus this side. The color is just like bazam. You guys, this is the final look. I hope these makeup mistakes you didn't know you were making actually help and they work for you in the future when you are doing your makeup, especially if you're a beginner in makeup. Because for me, they definitely do make a difference when it comes to your makeup, your routine, and how you are scheduling out how to do your makeup. Because it definitely does help when it comes to your base, your makeup routine, and how you overall do your makeup all in total. All in all. However you do your makeup all in all. If you are new and you made it to the end of this video, hey girl, hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that post notification bell, so you are notified every time I do upload new videos, because girl, you don't want to miss out on any of these makeup tips and tricks that I bring. And if you're a beginner in makeup and you're learning or you're new to makeup and you need some help, some tips and everything, this is the channel for you, girl. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in my next video. Bye, loves.